If you've been dieting and exercising and doing everything right, but you still look down and see that stubborn pouch of belly fat, I have some important news for you. It is not your fault. And it is not just about calories. That fat around your midsection is not just stored energy. It is biologically different from the fat on your arms or your legs. In medicine, we call this visceral adipose tissue. Unlike normal fat, visceral fat is an active organ. It is alive. It secretes inflammatory chemicals called cytokines that mess with your hormones, your hunger signals, and your heart health. But here's the good news. There is a specific window of time when your body is programmed to burn this fat. It happens while you sleep. During deep wave sleep, your pituitary gland releases a pulse of something called human growth hormone. This is the anti-aging hormone. It is the muscle-building hormone. And most importantly, it is the primary fat-burning hormone. When growth hormone is high, your body accesses those fat stores for fuel. But there is a problem. For most of us, that switch never gets flipped on. Why? Because of one specific organ that is clogged, sluggish, and overworked. Your liver. Your liver is the furnace. It is the chemical factory that processes fat. If your liver is busy dealing with toxins, or high insulin, or late-night snacks, it cannot burn fat. It gets backlogged, and instead of burning that belly fat, it stores it. So, the secret to a flat stomach is not doing 100 crunches before bed. The secret is supporting your liver, so it can do its job during the night shift. I am going to show you a specific elixir, a combination of 5 powerful ingredients that acts as a liver flush. It is designed to lower your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and stimulate bile flow right before you sleep. It creates the perfect biological environment for your body to torch visceral fat for 8 hours straight. It sounds too simple to be true, but the biochemistry is undeniable. Let's break down the first ingredient. It is a vegetable that is 95% water, but it is the other 5% that changes everything. The first ingredient in our liver flushing elixir is cucumber. Now, you might be thinking, isn't a cucumber just crunchy water? Yes and no. While it is true that cucumbers are incredibly hydrating, they contain a specific profile of nutrients that target your kidneys. You cannot talk about the liver without talking about the kidneys. They are the twin filters of your body. If your kidneys are not filtering out uric acid and waste fluid efficiently, that backup puts pressure on the liver. When your liver is stressed by this backup, it stops burning fat. It switches into survival mode. Cucumbers contain sulfur and silicon, 2 minerals that stimulate the kidneys to flush out uric acid. This is critical because a lot of what you think is belly fat is actually just fluid retention. We call this false fat. It is inflammation and water weight trapped in the tissue because your filtration system is clogged. By using cucumber, you are essentially taking a natural diuretic. You are telling the kidneys to open the floodgates. When you drop that water weight, your stomach flattens almost overnight. It is not magic. It is just plumbing. But we need to make this flush even more powerful. That brings us to the second ingredient. You can use either parsley or cilantro. They look similar, but they are powerhouses in their own right. Let's look at cilantro first. In functional medicine, cilantro is known as a heavy metal chelator. This is a fancy way of saying it acts like a magnet for toxins, specifically heavy metals like lead, mercury, and aluminum that we ingest from our water, our food, and even the air. Why does this matter for your waistline? This is the part that most diet gurus ignore. Your body is incredibly intelligent. When you ingest toxins, your body does not want them floating around in your bloodstream where they can damage your brain or your heart. So what does it do? It shoves those toxins into your fat cells. Your body uses body fat as a storage locker for poison. It traps the toxin in the fat to protect your vital organs. This is why some people cannot lose weight no matter how little they eat. Your body refuses to burn the fat, because if it did, it would release those trapped toxins back into your bloodstream. It is holding onto the fat as a safety mechanism. To burn the fat, you must first remove the toxin. Cilantro binds to these metals and helps carry them out of the body safely. When the toxic load decreases, your body finally feels safe enough to unlock the fat stores and burn them for fuel. Parsley works in a similar way, but it is more focused on the kidneys. It is loaded with vitamin K and antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress in the filtration loops of the kidney. So, by combining cucumber and these herbs, we are flushing the water and we are removing the toxic safety lock that is keeping your fat cells frozen. We have cleared the pathway. We have prepped the body. Now we need to ignite the furnace. We need to introduce the ingredients that actively spike your metabolism and physically melt the fat structure. We have flushed the kidneys. We have chelated the heavy metals. Now we need to turn up the heat. To burn fat, you physically need to raise the temperature of the body. We call this thermogenesis. This brings us to the third ingredient, ginger. Ginger is not just a flavor. It is a metabolic stimulant. It contains active compounds called gingerols and shogales. When you consume ginger, you can feel that slight warmth in your stomach. That is not just a sensation. That is your metabolic rate increasing. But for our nighttime protocol, ginger has a second, even more important function. It stimulates the migrating motor complex. Think of your gut like a street. During the day, there is traffic. Food is moving through. Digestion is happening. But at night, when the traffic stops, the street sweepers come out. This cleaning crew is the migrating motor complex. It is a wave of muscle contractions that sweeps through your intestines, pushing out undigested food, bacteria, and gas. If this sweeper doesn't work, that food sits there. It ferments. It rots. This causes massive bloating and inflammation. And remember, inflammation raises cortisol, and cortisol stores belly fat. Ginger is the ignition key for that street sweeper. It ensures that while you sleep, your gut is actually emptying itself. So you wake up with a flat, non-distended stomach. Now, we need to talk about the liquid gold that actually dissolves fat. Bile. Your liver produces a green fluid called bile. Its job is to break down fat. Imagine you have a greasy frying pan. If you just pour water on it, the grease doesn't move. It just beads up. You need soap to break the grease apart so it can be washed away. Bile is the soap for your body fat. If your bile is thick, sludge-like, and sluggish, you cannot break down visceral fat. It is physically impossible. This is where ingredient number 4 comes in. Lemon. We are using the whole lemon juice here. Lemon is often touted for being alkalizing. And while that is true, the real magic is what the sourness does to your gallbladder. The sharp, sour taste of citric acid sends a signal to your liver to produce thin, free-flowing bile. It thins the sludge. When your bile is thin and active, it can attack the fat cells more efficiently. It emulsifies the fat, breaking it down from large, stubborn globules into tiny microscopic particles that your body can then burn for fuel. Furthermore, the lemon helps regulate your blood sugar. We know that high insulin turns off fat burning. If you go to bed with high insulin, you will not burn a single gram of fat. The acid in lemon juice has been shown to blunt the blood sugar response. It helps keep your insulin levels low and stable. Low insulin means high growth hormone, and high growth hormone means maximum fat burning. So we have the flush, the heat, and the bile. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. We need to calm the gut lining itself. We need to lower the stress hormone that tells your body to hold onto weight around the midsection specifically. We need to talk about a plant that is usually used for sunburns, but is actually a miracle for your metabolism. The final ingredient is one you probably have growing in a pot on your porch, but you have likely never thought to drink it. Aloe vera. We know it heals burned skin, but inside your body, it does something even more profound. It heals the burned lining of your gut. Many of us have what is called silent inflammation in our intestines. It comes from processed food, gluten, stress, and seed oils. When your gut lining is inflamed, your body perceives this as a physical injury. It panics. And when the body panics, it releases cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And biologically, cortisol has a favorite place to store fat. It dumps fat directly onto your belly. This is an evolutionary survival mechanism to protect your vital organs during times of stress. You cannot exercise away cortisol belly fat. You have to calm the inflammation. Aloe vera is an adaptogen. It coats the lining of the stomach and intestines with a soothing mucilage. It cools the fire. When the inflammation drops, the cortisol drops. And when the cortisol drops, your body finally gets the signal that it is safe to release the stored energy around your midsection. Aloe is also clinically proven to lower fasting blood glucose. One study showed that taking aloe vera gel daily reduced body weight and body fat mass in patients with prediabetes simply by stabilizing their blood sugar. So, here is exactly how to combine these 5 powerhouses into the ultimate nighttime fat-burning elixir. You will need a blender. First, take 1/2 of a large cucumber. Keep the skin on, that is where the silica is, but wash it thoroughly. Second, grab a handful of fresh cilantro or parsley, about 1/2 cup. Third, take a 1-inch knob of fresh ginger. You can leave the skin on if it is organic, otherwise peel it. Fourth, squeeze the juice of 1 whole lemon. Do not use the bottled stuff. You need the live enzymes from the fresh fruit. Fifth, add 1 tablespoon of pure aloe vera juice. You can buy this at any health food store. Just make sure it is the inner leaf gel and low in sugar. Finally, add 1/2 cup of water just to help it blend. Blitz it on high for about 30 seconds until it is a smooth green liquid. It is going to taste fresh. It is going to taste green. But drinking this is only half the battle. There is one critical rule you must follow when you take this drink. If you break this rule, you might as well pour the drink down the sink. It will not work. It has to do with the timing. The rule is simple. You must drink this on an empty stomach. And when I say empty, I mean you must stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to sleep. Here is the biology behind the rule. Remember human growth hormone? That magic fat-burning switch we talked about earlier? It has a mortal enemy. That enemy is insulin. These 2 hormones are antagonistic. They are like 2 kids on a teeter-totter. If insulin is up, growth hormone must be down. If you eat a snack, or a bowl of cereal, or even a piece of fruit with this drink, your insulin will spike to process that food. The moment insulin enters the blood, your pituitary gland shuts down the production of growth hormone. The fat-burning window closes. The night shift is canceled. This drink is designed to work in a fasted state. It provides the micronutrients to support the liver without the caloric load that triggers an insulin spike. So, if you go to bed at 10 p.m., the kitchen is closed at 7 p.m. At 9:30, you blend this drink. You down it, and you go to sleep. And here is one final pro tip to maximize the effect. Turn down the thermostat. Sleep in a cool room, ideally around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. When you sleep in the cold, your body has to work to keep your core temperature up. To do this, it activates a special type of fat called brown adipose tissue. Brown fat is metabolically active. It burns white fat, the belly fat, to generate heat. So, let's review your new nighttime fat-burning protocol. 1. Stop eating 3 hours before bed to crash your insulin levels. 2. Blend cucumber to flush the kidneys and drop the water weight. 3. Add cilantro or parsley to chelate the heavy metals trapped in your fat cells. 4. Add ginger to stimulate the street sweeper in your gut. 5. Add lemon to thin your bile and emulsify the fat. 6. Add aloe vera to lower the cortisol that causes belly fat storage. And 7. Sleep in a cold room to activate your internal furnace. This is not a magic pill. This is biohacking. You are using chemistry to force your body to do what it was designed to do. Try this for 7 days. Don't change anything else. Just add this drink and the 3-hour fasting window. Take a picture of your stomach on day 1 and another on day 7. You will be shocked at how much deflation happens when you finally let your liver do its job. If you're going to try this challenge, type accepted in the comments below. Hit that like button if you learned something new about your biology today. Sleep well, and I will see you in the next video.